Calorie counting, the bane of the exhausted dieter's existence. In today's video, I am going to explain to you why calorie counting does not matter, so you can stop doing it. But after these 3 points that I'm going to talk about, you will see that once and for all, you can stop counting calories. I'm Dr. Amina. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I am a physician and a health coach. I help you lose weight by eating more. So calorie counting. Let's first start by defining what does calorie mean? What is a calorie? So a calorie basically is a measure of the energy that's obtained from burning a set amount of food. Now, when you look at that, it's essentially in the lab setting or in the test tube setting. You get a certain amount of energy from burning a specific type of food. But that does not necessarily translate to exactly the amount of energy you get in the body when you digest the food, because there are different factors, there are many different things affecting how many calories you are able to extract from the food. And those are what I'm going to explain in this video so that you can understand why the whole calorie counting thing does not matter. The first thing is, is the food cooked or not? Depending on how the food is cooked, how long it's cooked for, that will determine how much energy you will extract from the food. So something that is more well cooked than something that is not well cooked, the more well cooked food is going to be more easily digested, rapidly digested, and so you're going to absorb more of the energy into your bloodstream, into your body, and have that for use. Okay, so cooking it and how it's cooked, etc., will affect how many calories you are able or will extract from the food. Another thing affecting the amount of energy or the calories extracted from the food would be the type of food, the type of macronutrient it is. Okay, so the main macronutrients, 3 main macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Now, believe it or not, the protein macronutrient takes the most energy to be digested. So when you're eating protein, the body has to really work to break it down into the amino acids and other compounds or substances. And that process of breaking down the protein requires a lot of energy. It takes a long time, and for that reason too, because it's taking a longer time, that protein will move further down the intestines. Now, a lot of absorption of food happens in the upper part of the intestine, the stomach and the small intestines. And so if you're having more of the food moving further down the intestines, approaching the colon, it means that you have less energy being extracted from that food for use by your body. So effectively, if you, for example, have maybe say 1,000 calories of protein on a plate, I mean, that's now I'm just using for easy numbers. So 1,000 calories of protein on your plate could equate to an effective amount of calories in your body of 700 calories, because 30% of the amount of calories would be utilized to break it down to digest it. So even though your plate has 1,000 calories of protein, your body is not taking in 1,000 calories. Your body is only benefiting from 70% of those calories. And so having meals that are richer in protein are going to be meals that you might not necessarily absorb all the calories. So you would have counted all those calories thinking, oh my goodness, I'm getting 1,000 calories or how much ever, but you really are not. So you're sort of fooling yourself unknowingly and stressing about all these calories that you're getting when you really did not effectively benefit from those. Okay. And then the third point is kind of related to the first one about whether or not it's cooked, but not necessarily. This one is how much fiber is contained in the food, right? And then also with that point is when you had the fiber. So if you're eating a meal and you have a big old salad and you have some starch, rice, potatoes, or whatever, and then you have your protein. But if you preceded your meal, or if you started off your meal with the fiber-rich vegetables, the fiber is going to prime your system. And so because your stomach, your intestines will be receiving the food, but it will already have fiber. So you're receiving it on a bed of fiber, so to speak, and that fiber is going to trap some of whatever else from your plate. So the starch and just the food and whatever starch and even some of the protein will be trapped within your intestines. You think of the fiber as a mesh, and so that mesh will trap some of the other calories from your plate and move it further down the intestine so it does not get absorbed into your system. So again, you're not having as much of those calories being absorbed, and so you're not having that excess energy going into your system. Of course, excess energy is stored as fat for times of need. And that's kind of where, you know, the whole issue of counting calories and so on came in, and trying to restrict and so on, because, you know, in this day of age of more sedentary lifestyle, but having the same amount of calories, people get concerned that, oh my goodness, like I'm having 2,000 calories, but I'm not moving. And so it means I'm going to be storing all these calories. But when you start thinking about the fact that depending on how you plan your meals, structure them, combine different foods, and also the timing of eating different meals, different foods, you are not going to be absorbing all those calories into your body. Even if you're not like necessarily playing around with timing of different food groups and even like cooking and so on and so forth, having a set amount of calories on your plate will almost never equate to the amount of calories going into your system, unless all those calories are very simple, very refined. So sweet drinks, okay, there's nothing to digest there. So that's going to be very quickly and very easily absorbed in the upper gastrointestinal tract, which would be your stomach. Snacks, cookies, biscuits, very super refined foods like that, where there's not much work for the body to do. So the thermic effect is going to be very small compared to protein, which takes a lot of energy to digest, the most energy of all the macronutrients. But for refined snacks, not much work to digest those. Some of them start practically melting in the mouth, and so they start getting absorbed into your mouth. While they're in the mouth, by the time they reach the bottom of the stomach, so to speak, they are very largely, a very good percentage is absorbed. And so that is how you think about calories, and whether, you know, the calories on your plate equate to the calories in your body. Bottom line, if the calories on your plate are very easy to digest, very easy to break down, so overcooked vegetables, very refined snacks, packaged foods, processed foods, those are you're going to get way more calories from those being absorbed into your body. But if the food is a bit more complex with a lot of fiber, and you're including protein and essentially foods that are going to take more work for your body to break down, it means that less will be absorbed, and ultimately more will move down through your gastrointestinal tract and reach further down, where there'll be less absorption. And also because you're getting more food progressing further down the intestines, you're going to get the signal that you are satisfied, the satiety signal, earlier. And for that reason, you will actually stop eating earlier. You are less likely to overeat. So multiple factors affecting the amount of calories that you will actually absorb from your plate. But the bottom line is there's no need to count calories. That probably came into fashion because of the ready availability of processed foods. If you're eating lots of super processed foods, maybe, but you probably shouldn't be eating so many of those foods anyway. And ultimately, you'll be fine if you eat more complex, unprocessed foods over processed foods. I hope you all found this video enlightening and ultimately helpful. If you did, do me a favor and like the video, and also subscribe to the channel, my YouTube channel. That helps my videos reach a wider audience. And my goal, of course, is to help as many people as I can with their ultimate health and vitality. Thanks for watching, and have a good evening. Bye.